Good evening. Barry here again. I'm finishing up work. About to go sit down to another movie, and I'm gonna make something to eat first, as usual. Something a little different, not really a movie snack. Um, my take on those little packets of instant ramen that people like or are so fond of, or those little cups. It's more like the little cups. Something you can make ahead of time and store and then pour hot water into and enjoy. So, without further ado, I will see you in my kitchen. Okay, first we're going to show you how to actually construct the soup jar or instant noodle jar, and then we'll show you how to make one to eat it. The first thing you need is a couple of jars. These are pint jars, 16-ounce jars, canning jars, whatever you call them. Raid your grandmother's basement or buy a few for yourself, however you find them. Next thing you're going to need is some kind of soup base. Now I'm using this stuff. Better than bouillon or bouillon. I have two different kinds. I have garlic and chicken because I like the two flavors together. You're going to need 2 teaspoons of each per jar. Just got to get them opened up. Now these are a little pricey. You can get other soup bases, but these work really well. You get a lot of uses out of each jar. And that actually goes in first, so we're going to do that first. This is a layered process, so 1 teaspoon of chicken, into the jar. Come on. It's really, really thick. Try to get it in the bottom. It's going to splash onto the sides. Nothing you can do about that. And there we go. I'm going to actually get a little thing to scrape it with, I think. You know what? Just a spoon will do. Just anything to get it out of there. And there's jar 1. Do the same to jar 2. Try and get that whole teaspoon in there. Now this stuff, if the store-bought little, dried brick of ramen is a 1, and flying to Japan to have a personal chef make you ramen broth is a 10. This stuff I would rank like around a 6.5 to 7. It's pretty good. And it's quick. Now I only got a half teaspoon here because I only got one teaspoon. So we're gonna do 2 of these. But into the garlic, half a teaspoon, full teaspoon. I really enjoy the flavor of this garlic one. There. Now that's done. Put the lid back on those. These go back in your refrigerator when you're done. They got to be kept cold. I'll put them out of the way for now. So that's layer 1. Layer 2, you're going to want frozen or pre-cooked and cooled down vegetables. I got some frozen peas. Just dump in as many as you want. You could use corn, carrots, whatever. A peas and carrots mixture or some other things. If you wanted to cook up something special, if you want parsnips in here, cook up some parsnips, cool them down, throw them in here, whatever. Put that on top of your bouillon. You gotta have something to separate the noodles from that soup base, because you don't want your noodles sitting on there. Now, your noodles gotta be pre-cooked and then cooled down to where you can touch them. So I got these from a local Asian market, pre-cooked and cooled them down, and it does not look like I have enough for 2 jars, unfortunately. So I may have to go cook some more, but the first time I did this, I used leftover spaghetti, and it worked out perfectly. You can use leftover pasta. You could cook those cheap little ramen packets and throw away the flavoring, or use it for something else. Whatever you want to do. Go get udon noodles from the Asian grocery store. Whatever you like. Fettuccine. Whatever you got on hand is fine, as long as it's noodles. Now on here is where I would put, since I used chicken flavoring chicken, I don't have any leftover chicken right now because I ate it all. So I'm not going to put any. There's going to be no meat in this one, and that's fine. You want to put your meat on top of there, and then I'm cutting up some green onions because I like these on top of my noodle bowl. You could also put these in at the end once you cook it, but I like to just throw them in there so I don't have to cut them up later. I was going to make 2, so I would have cut up more, but I ran out of noodles. So that's it. It's mostly full, as you can see. Grab your 2-piece lid, put it on there, and twist it on. Done. We'll finish this one in a few minutes, but I was heating up some water before we started. Here's one I already did. I could have just used that one, but that's okay. The way you cook, I say cook with one air quote because my other hand is full, is pour in hot or boiling water, put the lid back on carefully so that you don't burn yourself. Grab yourself a pot holder, twist it on nice and tight, and shake it up real good. The pot holder is important because you're going to hurt yourself otherwise. Trust me, I've done it. Get all that soup base. See, it's still stuck to the bottom. Get it all mixed up. And I don't think I have enough water in here, so I'm going to add a little more. You may hear the lid pop. That's fine. They're supposed to do that when they get warm. There we go. Top it off. Put the lid back on, and then you wait 3 to 5 minutes. You could eat it right out of the jar with a fork if you want. I've done it. You can pour it in a bowl, slice a hard-boiled egg in half, throw that in there. You could add your meat later, throw it in your bowl, which is nice. You could throw your green onions on top, which I will do for this one when I eat it. Or whatever you like. You could put nori, seaweed sheets, any kind of additive you want afterwards that doesn't need to be cooked like that, or that's already pre-cooked that you didn't put in here. But the idea is to put as much in the jar as you can. See, on the top of this, it has a little thing for a date. If you want to, you can write the date on there with a marker. The problem is it's stuck on there forever, so maybe take a piece of tape, masking tape, and put the date on. These hold for about a week in the fridge, so eat them before the week's up, or that soup base and all this stuff sitting on top might start getting a little weird. The noodles might get a little funky, but trust me, they're delicious. They're not going to last a week once you taste them for the first time. Okay, and we are back. I am going to show you this. It's been about 4 minutes. It's not quite as hot, so I can handle it now. Pour all that deliciousness in there. Oh, I missed a little on the bottom of that one. That's okay. So there's your instant noodle bowl. This is miles beyond anything you'll get out of a little packet that costs you 20 cents or whatever and heat up on the stove. It will cost you a little more money to make these. They're a little more pricey than that, but they taste so much better. You'll thank yourself. And here we are with bowl of noodles in front of the TV. Now, a couple things I forgot to mention. When you're doing your soup base, you can add things like sriracha, curry paste, miso. I put grated ginger sometimes. It's a nice little addition. Also, don't stuff it so full of noodles that you can't get any water in it. The water's got to be able to get to the bottom. So don't pack it down in there, or you'll never be able to make soup out of it. You'll have to dump it out, then dump the hot water into it, which defeats the whole purpose of putting it in the jar in the first place. So don't go overboard with noodles. You can also use those really thin rice noodles and put them in without cooking them, because they cook in hot water. So that's always an option. So let's find us a movie to watch, and I will see you next time. Have a good night.